Roadhead, which we just watched. We loved it. We've got David Del Rio, who is the director of this awesome film. We also have joining us Clayton Ferris, who suffers a bad demise in the movie. I don't want to give anything away, but we know it's going to happen. And Shane, who I got chastised for saying his name wrong. Shane,
you didn't get chastised. Let's not.
Showing Shane.
I chastise myself.
Yes. Shane Hodges, who plays an interesting character as well. Anyway, I want to get right into it. Thank you so much, guys. Congratulations on the release of the film. It's a lot of fun. I laughed a lot. Great acting as far as the leads there. I was laughing most of the time. It was really well written. The dialogue was great. David, congratulations, man. How you feeling? Are you just riding this wave here or what?
Yeah, I mean, this film's living a life that's absolutely surprising. It's nice to hear conspiracy theories of how he shot the film. Nice to hear that it's a dramatic comedic drama. Just the switch of it. And what's always been really interesting, which has been the thing that was interesting to me when I first read the script and we continued to adapt the script, was we have the first 5 minutes of a horror trope that we're all familiar with, and then as the movie goes on, you kind of lean forward and then you kind of lean back and then you kind of lean forward again to kind of really ask yourself what the hell you're watching. And it's nice to see the reaction of a lot of people that they're going through the same thing.
So I do have to ask, where did this come from, man? I mean, obviously the title kind of jumps out at you, and even the cover art of the film. But where did this come from? How did you get involved with the film?
I worked with John Paul Burkhart, David Gunning, who are the producers of the film, and Chloe Skye, who's the screenwriter of the film. And it's as a first-time independent film director to be called upon. And I worked with them on a film called Sick for Toys about 2 years prior, and they got funding for this movie, and they called me and they said, we got funding for a movie. Do you want to jump in? And to be getting a quote unquote offer only into your directing career was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. That was until I received the email of the PDF title called Roadhead, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. And then I thought it was just a code name for something, and then I saw the cover letter, and I was like, oh shit, why, God, why? And so it was a bonkers script. I saw what they were going for, but I was really, really interested in the human story of these three characters and their sense of survival. And that was something that really got me going. Once I got a sort of glimmer of that, as well as a glimmer of, well, let's just have some real fun with this, and then the audience will respond with how much fun that they think we're having, without sort of kind of commenting on how ridiculous this concept is. We wanted to let the concept speak for itself, but really hone in on the reality of these characters. And that was a journey, an odyssey that I really enjoyed going on. And so that's basically how it fell into my lap.
Well, as you watch it, it starts out, you kind of get a real glimpse of what you're in for, and within the that first segment there, the movie, and then it goes, we get Shane's character and who he's rolling with, that kind of takes a turn, with Clayton, who's plays Brian in the film, and Tyler and Stephanie, the three there, just awesome funniness. You guys seem to get along so well. So Clayton, I got to ask you, man, because some of the scenes with you and the two others there were hilarious. Just such good dialogue. Did you ever go off script, or how much of that was improv? Because you guys were hilarious, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting because we're all like this movie could have gone two ways. It could have been like, if you would have cast like really bad actors, it may have been a better movie. Because it would have just been like crazier and just, like more absurd. But me, Damien, and Elizabeth just took it seriously. Like we're going to take it seriously, play the real stakes of it. But also, yeah, we just had fun. I mean, the cool thing about making movies like this is it's like summer camp. Like you just go away to the desert. Like we were in these shitty hotels. We were all just like, it took like an hour to get to set every day because it was even further out in the middle of nowhere. So we just developed this fun relationship, and David allowed us to be free and bring some fresh things to the script. And yeah, I mean, some of the lines we improvised or wrote before the scenes that made it into the movie, and that's always like fun.
I apologize. I said Tyler. That was the gentleman in the beginning of the film. It was Alex, Damien's character, Alex. My fault. But I thought Stephanie and Alex and they have their own chorals there. But
I mean, a lot of that's in the script. Like it's written a lot of back and forth is like very much in the script.
And I also will add though, it is in the script, but a lot of it was the script that was written in a Mexican restaurant diner in Barstow, California. I remember getting a text from Clayton going, "Hey, all three of us are here. Can you come join us?" And little did I know I was joining an Aaron Sorkin's TV writers room at that particular point. And it was one of those things, like it didn't come off of like my character wouldn't say this, but it was really coming out with a lot of alts, to kind of see which one would work. And I got to say this story. I mean, so it was Clayton's last day on set, and then it turned out to be his second to last day. And I've said this in other interviews, but man, that smart ass actor just hugged me and saying, "Oh my God, I had a great experience." What would be funny though? And he sneakily just gave me an alternate ending that I was like, "Oh, that would be funny." And then he got in his car and left, and I go, "Well, fuck, that would be really good. That would be really good." And it was, it was sort of the last scene, the scene that kind of wraps this film or wraps a lot of the characters' journeys in a bow. And it was a mirroring of what was going on with another character that I just thought was such a great thing. So we had a lot of inspiration of how to make this movie into a whole other animal throughout the shoot. And as Clayton was saying, that it did feel like summer camp, and it felt like it was a summer camp for screenwriting more than it was for a summer camp of filmmaking. But it was definitely one of those things that we really delved into, and we got to the crux of what would happen with these characters, because I was interested in telling that story too. I was interested in telling the story of the big what if, right? Let the concept speak for itself. But then what really was dragging people towards the screen was, oh shit, well, this is really good acting for a film like this. Why is this happening? How can these two things be melding together? And I actually do remember telling these actors where I was like, that's what we're going for. We have the trope in the first 3 minutes, and then let's be real for a second, and then let's just show them how much fun we were having.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, in that order of what you just said, let's show them how much fun we're having, and enter Shane and his people. So as I'm watching it, and it's like, what is going on right now? And I felt like I was watching a mix of like a trauma movie and Wrong Turn or The Hills Have Eyes type thing, with these people that are just out in the middle of nowhere, and they're so bizarre and they're so weird. We've got a guy, Shane's character here is so creepy, and he's just staring at Stephanie's character. He's like, and then you have the dialogue back and forth. Shane, welcome to the show. Just how did you get involved in the film? You read the character and were you like, yeah, I could do that. I can roll with that.
Yeah, I mean, I read the character, and they were kind enough to give me the part, but I guess what really drew me to the character was he's the guy who buys in. Yeah. You have this head honcho, and he's created this society, and he has his son there who's going to just follow along. But Larry, the character that I play, he's all in. You know, he's not related to either of these guys. He's not related to any. He cast himself in this as well. Like he just he bought in, and I just wanted to I guess just bring that, like, how do you have to, who do you have to be the second in command of a society like this? Like, what does that really mean? So you know, he's in love with somebody. You know, he's got a very, like, I tried to ground all of these things to kind of make him this I don't know, creepy, realistic, like he could just be next door, you know, and then
That's
all of a
what I
sudden
love.
he's good. He's out in the desert.
That's what I loved about working with the leader actors, because what they brought into it was point of view. It would have been very easy to just say these lines for shock value, but on set we were kind of really going to the nitty gritty of the why and where it's coming from, you know, because we weren't interested in projecting ignorance just so we say that we hate ignorance. In order to kind of project ignorance, in order to project ignorance, we need to know where it comes from, and we need to be open enough to figure out a way of understanding where they're all coming from. And these guys brought it. They really brought it. And talk about a whole other day of looking at the script and going, are these lines necessary? Should we keep them? Should we, you know, keep them in? And that was,
well, by a whole other day, it was more
us.
like we were, I think it was more like 30 minutes. It felt like 30 minutes before you came over to where we were, and you were like, so I like this, but I want to tweak it, and I want to do. You pretty much said exactly what you just said, and you know, we tweaked that. It's a very long scene, and we just tweaked that, all that stuff, and everybody showed up that day to play.
Yeah,
and
everyone did.
Just had a blast, like bouncing off of each other and doing these, you know, almost these wild lines, wild takes, and it was a fun scene to just get catapulted into like that.
So can I confess something? Whenever I did the typical actor thing, whenever I read the script, I really only read up until my let's just say I don't make it past page 35.
Okay.
And this is a horrible actor thing. So you know, I read, I'm a busy guy. I just read it.
You are.
And then after, so like when I first saw the movie, I was like, what the fuck is happening? But I was like, that's such a fun that's a fun like ride to go on as a moviegoer. It's like, you know, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Well,
you guys pulled it off.
Before I pass you on to the Muse, I just had one quick question. Where did you guys shoot? Was that like the Salton Sea? Where was that?
Barstow, California, and a dry lake bed. And what was fascinating about that dry lake bed was that there's no guiding lines or guiding you know, sort of like street lines to kind of guide you where you're supposed to be. But like 9 people own that humongous lake bed, and when we only owned a little part of it, or rented a little part of it, because if you stepped past a stone that you weren't supposed to pass, then the other owner would come out with his rifle and say, get off his property. But there was no lines to kind of know where we were, so we could be driving completely forward and we're following the owner, and all of a sudden he takes a right out of nowhere, but he knew the route, and we were just like, how did he even know? I mean, don't you guys remember, it was a lot of zigzag kind of getting to the spot, you know, because you
would see the base camp, like you would see nothing, and then all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, there's something,
and you couldn't just beeline. And you couldn't just beeline to the base camp, you know, you had to do a lot of crisscross to get there, because Lord forbid we get on someone else's dirt patch, you know, and then the junkyard was just a beautiful find. It was just a beautiful find in Barstow. I mean, it was like we were shooting at Universal Studios. It was just so wonderful. And listen, it's the town of chains, and boy, did we have a lot of it, a lot of chain food there. So we had fun.
Well, I always called it a drive-through town because you just kind of just drive through to get north.
It definitely was, yeah.
There's like a Denny's and a Starbucks.
Well, you know what? At least there's a
Yeah.
Starbucks. Denny's is not bad. You know, I'm sure you
And
guys ate there. plenty of times.
Denny's got their coffee from Starbucks to serve us. It's a very strange, very weird
It's a
system
grand
they got down
slam.
there.
Desert,
It's a
desert
grand
logic.
slam.
No
Yeah.
pun intended. I'm going to pass you on over to Muse. Thank you, guys. I love the film. I'll be back in a bit. Go ahead, Muse.
Thanks so much.
Musey. Microphone on mute. All right. She lost her chance. HorrO, we're going to jump over to you.
She's like, this sounds boring.
All right. Go ahead. She on now? You can go if you want.
Go ahead, Muse. You awake?
I'm awake. I know my internet connection is going in and out here. It was like you guys were breaking up really, really bad. I was like hoping I didn't lose you guys. So yeah, good to see you guys. I love the movie. It was fantastic. And you guys nailed it. It is a total ride from beginning to end. I had a blast watching this. It's hard to kind of like trick me into thinking what's going to happen next, but you guys did that. And I love that I did not know what was going on at times and what was going to happen next. I love the fact that I was really caught off guard by some of the scenes as far as unpredictability. I felt like it was really unpredictable. And I love that. I hate when I can see stuff coming. And so I really love that. You guys the cast was fantastic. You guys touched on that already. And I just love the whole idea of the story. It was fantastic. And the humor was fantastic as well. So, I mean, you guys talked about all the fun you guys had, which I was going to ask about, which you guys really kind of covered that. And I can tell you guys had fun making this. I can just see it in the connection with the actors on screen. It looked like a blast to do. So I'm going to ask you more the other end of the spectrum. And you guys can kind of like more of a round table if you want to go around, because I'm sure everybody may have a different answer. But I'll start with David. What challenges did you face while directing Roadhead?
Working with Clayton, without a doubt. That was the number one problem that we had. His schedule was so busy, and we had to lock him in. No, I'm kidding. So no. That was my number one favorite. The weather conditions were really interesting on that set. There was a line item in our budget that was just for water, and it was kind of like the most expensive line item of the whole thing. And just when you thought you drank your whole body weight, you still needed more. You were never ever hydrated enough in that spot. So when you are doing scenes like when Brian has his experience with the executioner, you worry about your actors, and then you also worry about the crew there of doing something so physical like that. And Shane, I mean, that day too, man, I mean, with his cape and his hood over the head, and it was one of those
we
things
filmed
that we really
it like it was like noon. It was like high noon when we finally did it too. It was just
how
like,
hot was it? Was it like 100 degrees?
Yeah,
like
it was
109. Like
Yeah,
it's like
it
110
was.
degrees out there. And then
And then
all the they don't even need
yeah.
lights. All the reflections they just blast all that. They do have lights, but then all the reflectors are down on you too, and you're just like, oh man, we're passing the umbrella around. But
Yeah,
it's part of the deal.
Yes, it's part of it. And in the last day of shooting, we had 34-mile-per-hour winds, and we had lights that were about 17 feet high looking down, and it was just one of those things that the structure of rewriting the opening scene had to happen, of how we were going to show the death of our two opening actors had to be changed due to the weather. And I found and I was just like, well, we're going to do it like this. We're going to stay on the windshield, we're going to back it up, and we're going to throw those heads on the windshield. That's how we're going to do it. And that was because of the weather. But that's also thrilling too, where we get to have a problem solving sort of brain tank to solve how to tell the story still very effectively with the limited amount of time and a limited amount of clear weather that we had. So I think that would be my that was the biggest struggle for us, but I'm so glad we got through it.
Well, I could, I could tell it was hot. I was watching it and I'm like, I need a drink of water because I'm just, it just looked hot. So I definitely could feel that coming across in the movie as well. So I believe it. So Clayton, what challenges did you face playing the character of Brian?
I mean, I overall had a real blast with it. It's obviously because my character starts out as like really nice, I have to die, right? So every time you die in a movie or something like that, it means you have to sit so I know it's a spoiler, but whatever. So I had to sit, to have my head, the mold of my head turned into a head. So that's one of those experiences where if you're a little claustrophobic or whatever, it's not a great match for you to sit there for like 3 hours as they wrap your head in clay and just leave these little like holes for your nostrils. So that was
oh yeah, that sounds a little bit freaked out. I would have been like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it's fun. Like, I like that part of filmmaking when you get to do weird stuff. And like, I had to have the prosthetic and all that. So like that stuff can be challenging, but it's also just a fun part of the process.
Yeah, well, I definitely, I love the practical effects. I love that you stuck with that and did not go the CGI route. I love that. That was fantastic. So Shane, now we're going to pass it to you. What were some of your biggest challenges?
I mean, besides the heat, I mean, I was on set for only a couple of days, and the whole thing was pretty much a blast from start to finish. I mean, it's my style of filming where it's like, all right, you're gonna go out in the middle of nowhere, and you're gonna you got to get prepared. And I knew, like, I know Barstow, so I knew that the hotel was going to be mediocre. So, I brought my sleeping bag, and like, I camp a lot around there. So I brought my cowboy hat and my hunting knife and my boots. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to be careful. And I show up on set and everybody else has their cowboy hats and their boots. A couple of guys had hunting knives, and it was just like, oh, these are my people. So, the heat, but other than that, for 2 days on set, there weren't really any challenges for me. It was just a blast all around.
It, like I said, it looked like a blast. Like I can tell you guys had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching it. So my last question is going to be, so many great questions have been asked, and I don't want to steal any from Omar. So I'm going to kind of go off the cuff here and ask, do you guys have any road trip from hell stories to share with us? Because this was definitely a road trip from hell. So kind of thought that might be kind of a little off the cuff question to ask. I caught him off guard.
Well, I'll take.
Go ahead, Shane.
Okay,
please, Shane, go ahead.
No, you go. You go.
Leave it to me to ask some ridiculous question like this. If you guys don't want, I can.
I'll go. No, let's all stop. I'll
laugh at you later.
That's fine. I'll go. So my wife and I do, like I said, we do a lot of camping, and we up until recently were very unequipped. Just a little crossover SUV. And we both tend to make quick and poor decisions because we just egg each other on because we just want to see what's over that next bend. And my dog likes to shit in the car when things go wrong. And things have gone wrong quite a few times. But I think one of the most memorable for me, where I didn't know if we would be just walking out of the situation, the car just we drove off an edge. And the car just went like this to the point that I had to climb out of the driver's side like this and kind of like stand on the edge of the car. My dog's already shit at this point. That's a given. And then I have firewood in the back. So I got this bundle of firewood. So my wife climbs in to the driver's seat and I'm like, all right, hold on 1 second. I start jamming firewood under the back tires, because at this point they're not even touching, they're just kind of hanging out. So I'm jamming firewood, and I'm just like, we're gonna have to walk out of here, there's just no way. And I was able to put enough firewood in there and slowly push it while she's gunning it for us to slowly get up and out. But that was a pretty harrowing one. We've gotten stuck a lot, but that was the one where I was like, nobody's going to be able to get us out of here. We're stuck. We're here forever.
Oh my goodness, that is crazy. I can't.
Damn you for starting it.
I'm sorry. And I'm gonna get so heckled for this later because guys always go, "Where is ask these ridiculous questions?" And everybody's like, "What?"
Every show, man. She I don't know. She has
It's
aces
a
up her
good
sleeve or something.
question. I feel like
That is a good question. Yeah.
I actually go on a lot of road trips, but I've never really had anything crazy happen. But over COVID, I went on tons of road trips and discovered like ghost towns, and
That is cool.
we would find all these small ghost towns and just go kind of like around dusk and just kind of walk around and freak ourselves out. Every ghost town you go to, there's just like one of those kind of, I don't even know what they're called, but like, there's things on top of buildings that spin. Like air
Like a
filter
weather
wind.
vane? Like
Like
a weather
yeah, weather vane.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what they
There's
are.
like a rooster, like a tin rooster, and
Not like one of those. They're more just like God, this is a boring description of what I'm talking
fan?
about.
It's got like
A
a
windmill?
fan. It's like a
Not a windmill. Sounds like. Anyways, every ghost town has this random thing on a roof spinning. So like while you're walking around, you just hear like
Oh,
So it's terrifying, and I like to scare myself like that. So I recommend ghost towns.
I love that. I love doing stuff like that and going to see a lot of haunted locations and stuff. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
David, if you want to skip the question, I totally understand.
no. I had listen. I had 17 minutes to think about it, so I'm
Okay.
good now.
I'm sorry to catch you guys off guard.
No. So when my wife and I were in Italy, we decided to rent a car, and we drove from Florence to Tuscany. And those drivers, God bless them, honk at you when you're going too slow. So it seems like it's the part of the rules of automobile driving in Europe that it's very, very legal to like pass people constantly, just constantly. And you really had to get to a headspace of going, you know what, I'm an American and I don't care, and I'm going to go nice and slow because we are right by a cliff and we are not going to slow down. But then the people pleaser in me, it's just like, I'm working with you. I'm trying to pass this truck of chickens in front of me too, and so really being pressured to go faster so you can pass a car that's like a mile ahead of you, and you just had people honking at you back there. That was pretty stressful. So that would be a really stressful time in my road trip career or stories.
Definitely. I know. Yeah. All these are great stories. And like I said, I'm so sorry for catching you guys off guard, but I thought it would, I kind of wanted to.
That was great.
That's what I get for going off the cuff, but
it was great. Appreciate that.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed the question. So I am going to slink away now and let you guys turn you guys over to Omar. And I know he's got some probably much better questions for you.
Question was not
I'll never hear the end of this. I'll be living.
I know the questions weren't that bad.
That was not
the questions were fine.
Okay,
All
you
right.
guys are awesome.
They like the questions. We'll bother you later anyway.
Okay.
All right. So I really liked the movie, and this is one of those movies I kind of watched, and then as the days kind of went by, I was like, damn, I like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, I like this movie a little bit more and more the more I thought about it. But the one thing, and maybe David can answer this question the best, is the one thing that I wanted to know the most of is this community that you started out in the desert. It just seems so random. Like as it was going on, you had the executioner there, and I'm kind of thinking, like, this is like was this going to be like a road warrior type movie, or like what is happening out in this movie? And I saw another movie recently called Spare Parts, and it just has this other random society. But it seemed like there was a little bit of rhyme and reason to that. But this one just seemed so bizarre and out of the like it was totally not expected. Where did all that come from, and was it modeled after any other movie, or this is like your guys' idea? That's it.
Well, we really did want to add elements. Our compass was, let's do something that people have never seen before. Now that is very, very hard, and I don't think I don't really think we achieved that. However, because every movie has something about that is similar to one another, unless you're Christopher Nolan, you know. But to have that as a compass, as a cast and crew, to kind of, whether visually, storytelling, the acting choices, what we really wanted to come across was, well, yes, this is random, but it's got to be we got to represent it. It's as random to us as it will be for the audience. We didn't want to come forward with a gotcha. You know, what we really wanted to come with was the idea that, well, we've never seen this in another movie before, so let's explore it. It might not make any sense, but but sometimes life doesn't. So let's just continue on with it, and we're already on this trail. So let's get weirder. Let's get funnier, and let's get a little bit more off the cuff. And I think that was the compass that we all kind of worked from. And then for me, you know, because I directed something from a certain genre, really, I wasn't looking at something that was similar to that genre. You know, the thing that I was looking at was Lee Tamahori's The Edge with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin. You know, it was a survival film, and I think that was what we were doing. You know, and I remember having a meeting with the actors and kind of going, you know, what this is about is, what does it feel like to lose a loved one? What this is about is, what does it feel like to be the Band-Aid between your significant other and your best friend, and you have to be the glue that holds them together? What's the stress with that, you know? So what we really wanted to kind of come across was, let's watch other movies that aren't horror to emulate these relationships. But for me, it was The Edge, and I don't remember what films, if any, I recommended to the cast, but we did move forward with not wanting to do a horror comedy. We just moved to just tell a story, and however the timing went, however the comedy went, however the scares went, it was definitely up to the audience at that point.
And also, with the producer John Paul, who kind of like spearheaded getting this movie made, he's born on Halloween. He's like a horror fanatic. Like, his house is all fanatic. Like, yeah, like horror stuff everywhere. He's obsessed with it. So and he kind of worked with the writer along the way. So, I mean, there probably is some like reasoning for it, you know, I know that he was like, the original idea was like, let's make a movie called Roadhead. And then this is what came out. Like, the idea was like the title, and then this is what kind of like happened. That doesn't answer your question.
No, just the more I think about that group, it's just so bizarre. You have a leader, you have his son, but they just don't seem like they should be there, and just out in the middle of nowhere. Then you have a main follower, then you have this guy who just wants to execute everybody. You imagine almost a prequel. Like, how did these people get here? As much as you enjoyed the main three getting there, but it's like, how did other people also get here?
Yeah, and that show just got picked up to series from Shudder called The Leaders, which would be freaking fantastic. But the thing is that, you know, these were the logic that we brought behind was the logic and answers that we got to keep, meaning that our point of view is our point of view, right? These were lost boys, you know, and you know, when you're discovering about you know, or when you're talking about a cult, what is the currency of a cult? And that's lost souls who kind of don't know or lost their way. And that was also a story that we were very interested in telling. And the more random it came off, then that's basically, we did our job in that sense too. You know, where do these fuckers sleep? We have no idea, you know what I mean? And who sleeps with who, you know? And so, you know, that was, you know, very interesting. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure, I mean, Shane has a lot better answers in terms of the point of view of where these characters come from. But for me, it was, you know, a family needs to be held somewhere, and it needs to be based somewhere. And that was a family that that was really funny to observe and to expose.
I having, you know, not to speak too much about the perspective and you know, get all actory, but just having been out in the middle of nowhere in places, and you come across people, they want to be out in the middle of nowhere for a reason, and you kind of just know which campsites to stay away from. There's kind of an innate thing built in when you see somebody who's been there a little too long, and he's become more and more eccentric the longer he's been there, and you don't know why he's there, but he's out there, he's in the middle of the forest. I mean, that's why, you know, you have to move on after 14 days from a lot of campsites, because that guy will just get more and more entrenched. So, you know, it's, for me, it wasn't as far-fetched, because that shit can get weird out there. You know, especially in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
That climate itself, like we were, you know, talking about it, like it makes you go a little nuts. So, you know, in my mind, it was just a lot of disenfranchised, by a lot, 5 disenfranchised souls close to Los Angeles who found, you know, like David said, found a family, found some common ground.
Yeah.
It certainly worked, and it's just like I said, it was just so bizarre that I just so enamored by it. It was just crazy. I guess a question that you know, I guess is open to either of you to speak on is this movie also comes out during Pride Month, and does that, you know, with everything that happens in this movie, does that mean anything extra to you, or kind of how your feelings on this movie and having it come out during this month?
I mean, I think that it's hugely important because we don't like it. I like movies like this that treat like LGBT characters without it being their like front, you know, like front and center type of thing. Like me personally, I identify as bisexual. I just want to put that out there. But it's kind of like, it's interesting when something like this comes out, because I've actually never like played a queer character in such a open setting like this. So it's been fun for me to like be really open and just like share the movie. And the dream for me would be that young queer people that, you know, a lot of queer people love horror movies. So to see kind of like some queer people as the main leads, I just think it's another great like piece to the puzzle of just like, representation. It does matter. And I mean, it kind of works perfect that it came out in June. I'm sure it would have gotten released a lot sooner, but because of COVID, this is when it came out. So I think it's perfect timing.
Yeah, and the other thing is that, you know, we were not set out to do a movie for a particular set of people, right? We did it for the masses. We did it for audiences, and audiences are diverse, and audiences, we all have one common ground when we go to the movie theater together, which is we're all in this together, right? Either we're not going to like it or we're going to like it. And my approach with having sort of these characters being represented was just not to talk so deep about it, because that's just not what the movie is about. Again, we were telling human stories. I would have the same reaction if I lost my loved one to a medieval executioner as well. It doesn't matter, you know, what color or sexual orientation I am, you know, but the fact that the people are feeling represented really just it makes my heart burst with joy, especially when, you know, we were just approaching this as, let's just tell the story. And you know, the way that I directed Damien and Clayton was just show me what it's like to show me your version of dating somebody for a year. That's all I wanted. And that was, and what they brought to the characters, as Clayton said earlier, was it really had nothing to do with sexual orientation as much as it had to do with one human being's heart to the other. And again, you kind of want to go out and tell a movie with a message. 9 times out of 10, that message won't be clear. But if you shoot a film and approach it as an open-ended book, open for interpretation. And as long as you feel that there's love there, as long as you feel that there is fear there, as long as you feel that there is survival there, then we've done our job.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for the movie, and I really loved it. And I'm gonna throw it back to Ken because I think we want to get into this trivia showdown here.
Yeah. So our favorite part of our show is to put our guests through a segment called the Deathly 13. So HorrO and I have no idea what these questions are. So we're kind of in the same boat as you guys. But Muse, being the woman that she is, likes to torture us, and she knows these questions, and she's going to ask you guys. You guys get a couple lifelines. You can ask HorrO or myself one time each if we know the answer. You can ask for multiple choice. You can ask for to postpone the question. Maybe you guys know, but if any of you know it, just shout it out. 13 questions. Go ahead, Muse.
Okay. Are we still going to use the chat as a lifeline too?
Yeah, we could do the chat. It's always a little bit delayed, but we definitely could do that.
Okay, I just want to double check on that. Okay, so you guys have any questions before we get started?
Yes. So one lifeline.
I'm in the chat. All right. I'm
so
back.
one lifeline. Could we just blurt out, "I want a lifeline"?
Yeah. Yep. Anytime you want to use one. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Do you guys have any more other questions or?
I'll learn as I go, like with everything.
Okay. All right.
Amen.
All right. Question 1. We're just gonna jump right in then. Question 1. In the movie Poltergeist 3, what city does Carol Ann move to? If you remember, she's separated from her parents. I don't really even know why she goes to live with her aunt and uncle, but she does. I don't even remember.
All right. San Francisco, I win.
Are you sure?
I say we give it to him. He seems confident.
All right.
Are you sure? Final answer. Do you guys want to? It's a team effort. It's.
We're playing as a team.
Yes.
Oh,
it's the
we're playing as
Roadhead.
a team.
I thought we were dueling to the
Sorry,
death.
guys.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just went right into it.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
You just went right into it like you're giving Roadhead.
I would assume
I still want to give it to him.
I would assume it's not San Francisco because it's like that movie feels very suburban.
Right.
Yeah.
I like Clayton's idea. I think he's going in the right direction.
It is
not San Francisco. I will tell you that.
Muse, is it a city that starts with a C?
Yes.
Chicago.
Okay.
It is. Yes.
Somebody said it.
Chicago.
Who said
Shane?
it?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Chicago. Yes.
Nice, guys.
There we go. Good team.
All right.
Good
All
team.
right, here we go. Good start. Question 2. What Ohio town is Jesse Eisenberg's character from in Zombieland, hence his nickname in the movie?
Cleveland.
Ooh,
Cleveland?
so close. Right state.
There's only 5 of them. There's like five big cities. Dayton?
It's a C.
Oh, I know it.
Let's see. It's
Columbus.
Dayton, Cincinnati.
Yes, Columbus.
Columbus. All right, guys.
Oh my God, I fucking suck.
It's only question 2, man.
Only question 2. You guys are doing good. All right, question 3. Now, I will take two possible answers for this one because I'm a little bit. I'm debating whether or not they got this wrong on the trivia question card, but because I remembered a little differently. But what is in the movie Gremlins? What is the first rule that Billy breaks while caring for Gizmo? What is the first rule he breaks?
Is it giving? Okay, go ahead.
If you remember the rules, it's you can't expose them to bright light, sunlight. You can't get them wet, and you can't feed them after midnight. So which rule does he break first while taking care of
midnight?
I think it's the midnight.
Are you sure?
It's
Not sure.
Okay.
I thought it was feeding to midnight. But
He gets them wet.
I'm gonna take he gets them wet because
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
remember
Okay.
it being it's either that or I think he takes a picture of them, but I can't remember the order. But I'm gonna take he gets them wet.
I thought it was the wet. I thought it was wet.
Yeah.
Too.
I either one of those answers works. All right. Question 4. In the movie Freddy vs. Jason from 2003, whose head was severed at the end of Freddy vs. Jason?
50-50.
I think it was Freddy's, right?
Yes, it was Freddy's. All right. You guys are rolling now. All right. Question 5. All right, Ken. This is I actually fashioned this one because I was hoping you might go to Ken. I was hoping he had not been used up yet as a lifeline.
I'm used up. I'm definitely used up.
It's a different show. All right.
Too much roadhead.
All right. All right. In the movie Carnival of Souls from 1962, this is actually a multiple choice. So this is also gives you guys another opportunity to try to guess the answer. What had the building not been before in the movie Carnival of Souls? A bathhouse, a dance hall, or a warehouse?
It had not been a warehouse.
That is correct. It had not been a warehouse. All right.
Shane.
Ain't
I mean,
out of
what,
nowhere, man.
you know, what's like, ooh,
You're
this used to be a
genius.
warehouse. Like, it's
Right, that doesn't seem
That's
right.
a
I
boring
agree.
response.
just seemed like the odd man out.
Yes. All right.
I'm embarrassed because I literally go throughout the world saying I'm a horror fan, and I suck at this.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Well, you're
doing
also
great.
talking to the professionals right now too.
That's
Like
true.
these
It's true.
Just to be fair,
professionals.
Ken gave me a horror trivia, and I just sucked so bad. You guys are doing way better than me.
We expect that from you because you ask questions about good road trips. That's-
Right? Oh my gosh, it's starting.
Yeah.
All right.
6.
Question 6. All right. So this is, remember, you have your lifelines left if you guys get stumped. In what comic book series did John Constantine first appear? I got a good hint for you guys if you guys aren't sure. So John Constantine, we know the movie Constantine. He was in a comic, but he first
Right.
appeared. What was
Ken.
that? Oh, okay.
Well, I think we should use our lifeline with
Okay.
Ken.
Oh,
Yeah.
You looked like you knew.
no, I
Ken.
do know. I think I know. Is it? Are you looking for the title of it? Is it
Yeah.
Hellblazer?
No.
Is it
he was
Justice
he
League
was
Dark?
in
What?
another comic. Another.
Justice League Dark?
Oh boy,
Think green. Think
Green Lantern?
no.
The Hulk.
Green Arrow? Green Arrow?
the Hulk.
What is it?
Swamp Thing.
Oh shit!
Swamp
Wow.
Thing.
I didn't know he was. Oh wow! I'm sorry, guys. I got you a fail. You guys wouldn't have got that anyway.
Oh,
I was hoping Ken might
Didn't
be able
even
to
have
pull
a
it out because he
chance.
likes comics. All right. Question.
I'll make it up to you. I'll make it up to you. I promise.
Question 7. In the movie Pieces from 1982, true or false, Timmy was putting together pieces of his victims in the form of a jigsaw puzzle. Was that true? or
Yeah.
false?
I'd say Timmy was doing
True.
I'm gonna
That
say
that. Timmy was. Yeah,
That
Timmy
is
was
true.
into that. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Question 8. Here's another true or false. True or false? In the movie The Ruins from 2006, aside from secreting acid, it kind of centers on these mutated vines. True or false? The vines actually give out an audible property where they make this sort of sound. Is that true or false?
Well, what's the sound?
It just says audible property.
Do it, Muse. Do the sound, Muse.
I have to. I don't know.
Oh, okay. That took me back to the movie. That took me back to the movie so fast.
No, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't
for
know,
everyone
guys.
using the vines.
Wait on your paycheck, Muse.
Yeah.
And
If we got paid.
I had to call an audible right there because I had
Yeah,
no
yeah.
idea.
I can see the
Uh,
vines like streaking. You know, I can imagine this film where these vines like streak. It means they're coming. So I'm gonna say true.
That is
I second
true.
that.
All
I was like,
right.
please don't make me make that sound again.
Can you do it one more time? Just one more time.
Okay.
That's the ruins. That's the ruin sound.
I've just ruined the movie, I think,
Ruin the podcast.
for the second time tonight. Oh my goodness. All right. Question 9. Okay. So pay attention to the way that I word this. It's going to kind of give it away here in the question.
Okay.
What godfather of film directed the 1963 film Dementia 13? What godfather?
Scorsese?
You're on the right-
Coppola?
Coppola. I'm so
Coppola. Yeah. I was like, Godfather, they're gonna
Wh-
know this right out the gate.
What was the name of the film?
Dementia 13? A classic from
Was it
1963.
was it part 13 of a was it
Yeah,
part
were there 12
13
were
of a
there 12
dementia series?
I have no idea. It was called Dementia 13.
Well, maybe it was the
wanted to throw
first
it up
one, and
there
they
because I
just
love the
named it
movie.
the 13th and they're just like they don't
Well,
know.
I bet you it was the 13th and best one because it was directed by Coppola.
Right.
They
Exactly.
finally got it right.
Battered.
Yeah.
Are you going to put this on your watch list, David?
Oh, for sure. I have to, but first I have to binge 1 through 12 before I even get there.
That is quite an interesting name for a movie. Yeah, I it's one I have not
Totally.
seen, but I hear it's a classic. So I will confess I've not seen this, but I thought it was pretty interesting that it was directed by Coppola. So that makes me more.
Yeah, great.
All right.
For sure.
Question 10. In the movie Hostel from 2005, and this is a memorable scene, and I think Omar may be your guy if you're stumped. What part of Josh's body gets sliced by a businessman? This scene kills me every time I see it.
I've seen this movie.
It's so
painful. I can't tell you what it was.
It's just, let's put it this way. You're not going to be walking anywhere anytime soon.
Was it the classic Achilles tendon?
Yes, it was the Achilles tendon. Just brutal scene.
Way to go, Clayton. Way to go, Clayton.
Because that also happens in one of my favorite horror movies,
Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery.
Yes.
Yeah. 1 point for me. Yeah.
It makes you really look underneath the bed before you get too close to it.
No kidding.
You know,
I think they did that in Dementia 6, but I'm gonna have to go back and
maybe
check
it was
that out.
7. Who knows?
Maybe it was 7, but yeah.
That's kind of happened in like a Child's Play movie too, don't you think?
Totally.
Or
Yeah.
Home Alone. Or Home Alone 5.
Home Alone.
Yeah. The VOD version. Yeah.
No doubt. I missed that one. I need to see that one. All right.
Who
Question.
directed that? Coppola.
Coppola.
Sophia.
Over here.
Sophia Coppola.
So
Oh my God.
yes.
I'm dying. Okay. 11.
All right. Question 11. All right. Question 11. Y'all got me messed up now. All right. What in the movie Audition from 1999, what does Asami put in Ayoma's eyes in the film? What does she stick in his eyes?
Oh, I know I've seen it, but I don't know. I remember the classic scene where she's on the phone and that bag moves behind her.
Yes.
That's a great scare.
Yes.
Maybe does Omar know?
We have
No.
multiple
Is it-
choice left as well.
Is it a power tool?
No.
Okay, I don't know what it is then.
Is it an ice pick?
No.
Well, let's check the chat. Does anybody know in the chat? Let's see.
Is it audition
Asami
sides?
stick in Ayoma's eyes. Film Audition, guys.
No, nobody knows.
They say they don't know. All right. You guys still have multiple choice left if you want to do that.
Oh, okay.
Guys,
Yeah.
what number are we on? What number are we on?
You're on
11.
11. You got 2 more left.
Oh, well,
Well, yeah.
Sure.
what do you say, guys?
Yeah, I mean, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it needles, nails, or hot poker?
Ugh. Oh, God.
These are all probable.
With a needle on it.
It was needle. I would take.
I heard needle. I heard needle. Give it
That's
to
all that
him.
matters.
Yeah, I heard needle.
There was a needle on the end of a hot poker.
Yeah, the pointy one. One of those pointy ones.
Take it. I like that answer. All right.
Yeah.
It's needles. Needles.
Needles.
All
Ugh.
right. Now I'm counting on Omar for this next one. If you guys don't know it,
Okay.
I'm counting on you, Omar. You and Dexter. All right. In the movie Martyrs from 2008, what does Mademoiselle have done to Anna to reach the final stage and transcend? What does she do to her? Oh, come on, Omar.
Does she give her roadhead?
I'll take it.
That'd have been a twist. I didn't see coming.
Martyrs.
Boom.
Yes,
Plug.
yes, that's it. Give that was it. That's better than whatever.
Just give it to us.
Give it to
You
him.
guys
You
can
know
have
what?
that one.
I'm gonna give it to him since I screwed up. Since I screwed up question 6. We're gonna
All
give him yes. Roadhead.
Right.
Transcend. And Martyrs. You
What's
didn't
the
see
answer?
The uncut version, the Coppola version.
What's the Coppola version?
Director's cut.
Director's cut.
All right.
What's the real answer?
She flays her alive. She actually flays her alive and peels her skin off and all that fun stuff.
Close
I
enough.
was, yeah,
That'll do it.
Okay.
close enough. still pretty memorable for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely a painful scene to watch. That's one of those movies that I've seen once. I don't know if I'll see it again. That was a rough one to
Worth
watch.
2 points the next one. You get 2 points with the next one. So you guys can.
Question 13. What giant creatures did Beetlejuice have to sometimes face in the desert realm in the movie Beetlejuice? What were those?
Oh, come on, guys. You know this.
This is like the worm ones.
The
Big
worm.
worms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandworms, yes. All right.
Oh, okay.
And worms.
Cool.
I will take it. It was worms. It's close enough. I like it.
Warm ones.
Well, listen, you guys with the bonus question, you go 13 for 13. So well done. Thank you so much
Nice.
for hanging out with us. I just want to go around the room real quick. And Shane, we'll start with you. What are you working on and where can we find you on social media? What's in the pipeline?
Oh man, social media. Good Lord. I couldn't even find the chat for this Zoom meeting.
So we can't either, man. It's okay.
Man, well, right now I'm just doing press for Roadhead.
Loved you in that.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Did you get to keep the cloak, by the way?
No, they took that away from me as soon as I walked off set. They ripped it away from me. I think it was worth a lot of money.
Clayton, what do
It'll
you
be
got
in the
going
Planet
on?
Hollywood. It's gonna be in Planet Hollywood restaurant very
Yeah.
soon.
The Barstow Planet Hollywood.
Exactly.
Or the Denny's. The Denny's.
The Denny's.
Clayton, what do you got going on, man?
I have a couple movies on Alter that I'm in. If you guys like horror stuff, there's a movie called Together that's just came out recently, and then a movie called Mirror Gaze, Gazy, not Gays. So those are some two horror shorts that I'm recently were in. If you want to watch more stuff, or you can just follow me at Clayton Ferris. I post comedy videos and stuff like that. So that's me.
Excellent.
There he
David,
is.
go ahead and back clean up there.
So I am starting to shoot my ABC show in September. It's called Maggie, and it will be released on ABC in the beginning of spring.
Amazing.
And do you have a social media?
Oh, yes. You can catch me on Instagram at David Del Rio.
Well, listen, David, Clayton, Shane, thank you so much for hanging out with us on Where the Scary Things Are. We really enjoyed the movie. Listeners, you guys got to watch this movie. Check it out. It's a good time. Anyway, till next time, my friends, keep it scary. We'll catch you guys later.
Thank you so
Bye.
much for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, Clayton. Thank you.
Bye.
Guys.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. I'm like, my face hurts from laughing so much. Awesome show. Muse, you just have a way with words, man.
God, I'm just gonna, like I said, I give up. I don't know.
It's all good, man. Yeah, so that's our show for tonight. A lot of fun, good stuff. And we'll just kind of go around the horn real quick. If anybody has any shout outs, I normally say Chris first. He's not even here. Chris, we'll shout out Chris. Yeah, Chris, hope you're safe, and we'll see you next week. HorrO, what do you got for us? Besides your hand right in my
Behind my
right in
hand.
face.
With, I had to bring Dexter back into the thing. I love my hand in the picture there. Well, I had to get over that ending there. Whew. All right, let's see. Where are we? Okay, so shout outs. I just wanted to use the shout out time to remind everybody that a lot of festivals and conventions are coming back. So if you are ready to go back and to explore that, now's the time. A lot of them are putting out their information. I will try to continue to update our convention page so that it kind of helps people out with that. Thank you to Fixion Fest in Chile. They just had their virtual fest. We are a sponsor of that. They put on a good thing there virtually. And just to name a few, Sinister Nights and Popcorn Frights convention and a festival, both coming down here to Miami later this year. So be on the lookout that. If you want to actually see HorrO in person, I will hopefully be at both of those events. Terror in the Bay is another one. We sponsor all of those, and then a couple of others. Days of the Dead, Flashback Weekend, also put on good shows, and many, many more. Which, like I said, we'll try to put it on our convention page and keep you updated with that. And again, that is up to the convenience of you if you're ready to go out and venture into conventions and festivals again. And there are certainly still some that will be done virtually, and I try to keep you guys updated with that, especially on Facebook and so forth, sharing kind of that information. So be on the lookout for that. And as always, love the horror community, and spread the horror.
Awesome stuff. Yes, I'm actually really excited for the conventions and movies being back in, in the going to watch a movie in the theater. So yeah, good stuff. Muse, what do you got for us today?
I just wanted to shout out the guests we just had on. They were great. I was cracking up. It was a lot of fun. Like you said, I'm over here about tears running down my face. They were
Tuesday
great.
night, the best night.
Right. And so I want to shout them out. And of course the chat as well. Always a lot of fun. They had some of the answers in there. I missed one. So sorry, Luna. I did not see. She actually got needles for the audition question.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Not see it. But great stuff. You guys did a great job. And thanks for helping out. And that's it for me this week.
Yeah, as for me, just shout out to you guys. And then Chris, again, we missed you. The chat room, as always. Thank you so much for the support. And then you guys watch Roadhead, man. If you're looking for a good laugh and a good horror movie, check it out. David, thank you so much for hanging out with Clayton and Shane. A lot of fun, as Muse said. Also, check out the shows on the Strange Society Network. A lot of great shows there. We're all affiliated, and we're looking to have some big news here. This is episode number 95. So there's 5 more episodes to episode 100. And if you know me, I got something big up my sleeve. So I'm cooking up a storm here for episode number 100, and that's coming up real soon. So stick with us. Anyway, till next time, my friends, keep it scary.